I often say if there's more than one vision, there's division. And so if you're talking about trust environments, you want to make sure that everybody's on the same page.
One dream. Look at MLK. One dream that multiple people bought into, which powered the movement. One dream, one vision, one dream, one focus.
And we're back. Welcome to the latest episode of Commerce and Chill. I am Jessica Johnson Coe.
I'm Waleed.
Hi, Waleed.
Hi.
Why are you looking so sullen?
Because clearly our community can't see what you were nonsense you were doing towards me before the camera started rolling.
Well, why don't you let them know what I was doing that was such nonsense?
It doesn't matter. Move on. What?
Wipe me down. And we're back. It doesn't matter. Move on. I'm trying to cheer you up.
I don't need, you know what cheers me up?
What?
Commas in my bank account.
It's not all
credits
about,
versus
it's not
debits.
all about money.
You know what cheers me up? Results from the team. That's what cheers me up. Everything else is just icing on the cake.
Are you trying to say you're
it's
not
just extra.
getting
Like
results?
I don't really need icing on my cake. I need the cake. So everything else is icing. So I need credits in my account, and I need results, positive results from the team. That's it. That's all I'm asking for. I'm not asking for much here. I don't know. I just left. I was in a 2-hour meeting yesterday. I just want results. Good, positive results.
I don't think
that will make progress and move us forward.
I think some people don't realize what results.
And I shouldn't even been in a 2-hour meeting. It should have been a 30-minute meeting, maybe 35. Oh
well, you figure out how to cut it off. You'll figure out how to put a cap on it.
And a cap it, all right.
The last time we were here in Commerce and Chill Land, it was really hectic. Between Cope and I, we've both had situations on the business side and on the personal side where we've been working with people in whom we've invested a lot of time and resources and energy, and they proved less than trustworthy. If anything, they've, in their capacity as business and community leaders, just disappeared.
Disappeared? In some cases, cats just went bat crazy. I'm still trying to figure out what the hell is happening.
You can't try to figure it out. Just focus on how to not get caught up in it.
I'm trying not to get caught up in any ramifications, any lawsuits with some of this stupidness that some people's doing. I'm like, what's going on here?
Yes, and because there may be potentially lawsuits, we won't go into the ugly details of some of the situations, but in pressing through our challenges last week, with people who, as leaders, burnt the bridge of trust and basically went rogue. We wanted to talk to you about how to build trust with your partners, whether they're in business or whether they're personal partners, especially when leaders go rogue. Why are you sucking your teeth?
Yeah, I'm just thinking. And I don't even know if they went rogue. They just went bat.
What's the difference between going rogue and going bat crazy?
I mean, at least if they go rogue, there could be some kind of plan in a, like you could go rogue in a good way, but when you just go bat crazy.
How do you go rogue in a good way?
Like you could just go rogue and like things are going totally left field at the business. You're like results are not happening. Maybe some people aren't listening, and then you're in that leadership role. You're like, you know what? I'm taking everything off the rails. We're going to do it this way. And everybody get in there, get your hands like, stop what you normally do. Get in there and get this done. We need it done right now. You just go straight rogue. Like that could be a good thing. But I'm talking about somebody going back crazy and like, how about firing everybody in the firm at one time? Like, I don't think that's rogue. I think that's just back. Because if you're talking about you have a company, you have this mission and you care about it and you want people to thrive and all this, and you fire everybody at one shot through email or text message?
Of course you do it through email or text message. You're not going to fire them in person, especially when you know you dead wrong. Right?
I'm just saying.
So
this is what I've been dealing with for the past month plus.
Everyone who's turned in, before the end of this episode, we are going to give you tips on how to establish an environment of trust, a culture of trust within your organization, and how to maintain that trust in your organization as well as in your everyday lives.
She's going to give you tips. I'm just going to be here giving commentary because I have no idea.
See, and that's why we try to prepare in advance.
No, I'm saying I have no idea how I like to personally give someone tips on that. I'm just going to be like, hey, be yourself, or do this, or this is what this is what I've tried, and this is what's worked or hasn't worked. I'm just going to give you some suggestions, but you will give the tips, and you will give Merriam-Webster, you will give all those professional outlined PowerPoint polished presentation. And I'll just be this rogue guy on the side.
You sure you just won't be bat crazy?
Nah, I'm just rogue.
Okay.
With a little bit of bat sometime. Okay. Like 98% rogue and 2% bat.
Okay. Oh, goodness. So trust is a glue that holds many organizations together. It turns deflection into transparency and suspicion into empowerment.
Ooh.
And conflict into creativity. With it, trust that is, a tiny company can grow into a worldwide leader.
Yo, stop looking at my
And
papers.
without it, a giant corporation can get toppled. That's why we want to make sure we dig deep and talk about trust with you in this episode. So, Chief, tell me about a time in the soapbox history where somebody betrayed your business trust.
Oh, gosh. Do we have to talk about the negative?
Well, we want to set a context, right? Because I don't want people to think that we're just sitting here pulling stuff on Google. Like, we're literally talking from our own personal experiences.
I don't want to say, talk about...
It's not necessarily negative because
people are
going to disappoint you.
I got you. Don't worry. I got you, homie. So, betray, you say betray trust. I don't know if I take it all the way to betray trust, but we're talking about partnerships and building, and I don't want to talk about it because I don't want to seem like I'm sitting here pointing fingers. But let me give you a good illustration. We work with a couple, you're asking about the soapbox. We work with a couple different partners in some of the different service categories we provide. So here would be a great example, and I'm not saying this is the case, but I've experienced it, but I'm just painting a picture. This is not exactly verbatim what happened, so just in case any one of my partners who provide services listening, this is for entertainment purposes only.
Entertainment and edification.
And this is a fictional...
And educational
And this is a fictional story based on real life events.
So it's like a parable.
Yeah, it's like in a movie. Like it says that those come up on the screen. So I'm going to say, let's say I'm working with one of our dry cleaning partners, right? And we agree, and this has happened to me, but not with this particular partner.
Not with the current partner.
Right. And not in dry cleaning. But I'm just going to leave it at that. I feel like I'm about to throw so much shade. But it's fact.
Put on your sunglasses, ladies and gentlemen.
We enter a relationship, which is awesome because I just had a great meeting with a new potential partner over the weekend. And like myself and another colleague and I who are going to team up to partner with this. So it'd kind of be like this three-way thing, partnership thing.
Yeah, that didn't sound good.
Yeah, that's why I said partnership later on, because Commerce and Chill has a different rating, and like I'm super excited about it, and like I really get excited about partnerships and working with people because it just expands the opportunities for
everyone involved.
Everyone, like, and then it just becomes this compounding effect, like compounding interest. But anyway, so I engage with. We using the dry cleaner as an example. And when we start a partnership, we outline everything. Obviously, we have a pricing structure. We have a timing structure. And then let's say I get a bill. And when I get that bill from them, there's a change in the price for a certain item or a certain service.
So like you have agreed upon pricing. Say, for example, they say for a wool coat, they're going to charge you $25. And then now it's the middle of winter. You send them the wool coat expecting to pay $25 and they send you back a bill for $30.
Right.
So, and don't say anything. Just send the bill.
Right. So when you talk about, you talk about trust or building a relationship in business partners or in the work environment, I look at that totally. And listen, I get it. There's inflation, cost, supplies, all kinds of things happen, right? And COVID has messed up some stuff. And then there's another group of people who are using COVID as an excuse to charge more.
And to ring the doorbell.
And yeah, so that would be, to me, that's huge for me, because when we enter into these partnerships, these relationships, and to me, it's more of a relationship than a partnership. Because like I'll get on the phone with some of our partners and some of our vendors, and we're just like, hey, or like we text and we're like, hey, how's everything going, right? Like blah blah blah. Like we talk about business like last. It's just like, yeah, and then the conversation when we start talking about business is like, how can we do more? Like one of our colleagues hit me up. We have a partnership over the weekend, and he was like, hey, there's a spot in your zone that you operate out of who's shutting down. He's like, here's his info, like go over there, maybe you could buy the store, you could get the store, et cetera, et cetera. And like he was giving me all kind of back of the envelope details about this, because he's worked with this particular business in a different capacity. He was like, hey, maybe it could be to your advantage. And one, he didn't have to do it. Two, I respect that. And three, let's be clear. If I get more business, he gets more business. And what he's referring to, what he's giving me the heads up on is something that will increase our business, but increases his, because it's in the line of business that he works with us closely. So he could easily 5X, 10X his business with us by giving us the heads up or tip, whatever we want to call it, or do an introduction to this business who's looking to make an exit. So to me, I totally went left field on your question, but the trusting is super important, because who wants to be in some type of relationship, professional, personal, and you always got to feel like you have your guard up. Like you just can't have open and like free dialogue and conversation. You got to be like, oh, I better not say that. And there's some things you just don't talk about. I get that. Like we're talking about, professional. But if you feel like you always got to be on your toes or on eggshells when you're interacting or around that particular person, then what's the sense in having any type of relationship with them, like personal friendship or whatever, when you can't let your hair down to a certain extent and be somewhat relaxed and take your guard down? Then you might as well just be out in the street surrounded by a total stranger with your money in your hand. And everybody knows how much you got, and you just watch it to make sure nobody knocks you over your head and take it.
So I'll give you a shorter example. We have a partner.
Shorter?
Yeah, sir. You almost talked like 10 minutes. Miss Sam will sit back and she's going to say everything. So there's one partner that we have.
Make it 5.
That we work on for some government work. And they've been less than forthright in some of their dealings. But we continue to work with them because the agency gives us positive reviews, and we do a good job.
Love those 5-star reviews.
Because
speaking of 5-star reviews, you're watching us on YouTube right now, you should go right down and comment and hit the like button.
So this one partner,
if you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts or Google, hit the 5 stars.
This one partner's been slow to pay on more than one occasion.
Slow is an understatement.
We've even had discussions in the past few months.
It would be like a snail racing Usain Bolt in the Olympics.
About a service agreement with them. And the attorney didn't understand why I was so concerned about some of the proposed clauses, because I have experience with these folks and they're less than trustworthy. Nonetheless, we continue to do business with them. So I get an email on January 6th indicating that, and actually the woman was yelling at me through the email, you need to change the prices because the prices are wrong.
Was it in all caps?
It might as well have been.
I got an all cap email the other day, but I think they just did it by accident.
And so I wasn't quick to
caps.
respond because I didn't want her to see Jessie from the block. I wanted her to see Miss Johnson.
Who is Jessie from the block? I never met her.
Jessie from the block is the other side.
I never met her.
No bueno. And so I went back and I read the email. On July 7th, she sent me an email with the pricing that went into effect January of 2021. And so that was the pricing I had been using. But she sends me an email on January 6th, 2022, telling me that the price is wrong. When I'm charging her the price that she sent me in the email.
The price is right. The price is wrong.
The price is wrong.
Maybe we could start a new game show
and she's yelling at me,
wrong.
Change the email or you're not going to get paid. Mind you, they are extremely slow.
So you should just respond and be like, so if I don't change, you're not going to pay me. Are you aware that you haven't paid me anyway? So like what difference does it really make?
I can't engage in the nonsense. So I went over her head and emailed one of the senior level people at her firm, and I'm like, "Hey, like, what is it that you want me to do? Like,
did you actually type "Ayo"? Because that's what you said. I was like, "Can you forward me a copy of this email?"
I did type "Ayo," but I didn't. I went before I hit send. I let it marinate in my draft box before I hit send.
Yeah, listen. Quick tip for everybody out there. I don't care what email client you use.
Don't send
But if you use
emails.
like the Gmail business suite, which I know quite a few people use for their businesses, I would highly suggest you go to the settings and there's a feature where you can put a delay on every email. When you click send, it will hold it before it launches it. You should put it at least a 20-second delay on every email. That way, if you make a mistake, you could always hit the undo button really fast and it hasn't sent it. And if you send it in a moment of heat and then in that 20 seconds, you can make it a minute. You could even make it longer. And you realize like, damn, maybe I shouldn't have done that. You still got time to stop the email. And don't get this confused with like that Microsoft Outlook or the recall. Because that recall thing don't work.
It doesn't work.
It only works with people using the same platform that you're sending the email from. Because people try to recall emails from me. I'm like, too late, got it, read it. Aha, you played yourself. You can't recall it. And you said something really sideways you shouldn't have put in the email. Screenshot, gotcha. So let me tip for everybody out there. Business.
And that's a free one.
Whether you're in business or not, this is like totally, I want 0 royalties on this tip, okay? Go to settings, whatever client using, figure out how to put a delay. So after you hit send, it holds it for that amount of time, and there's a message that stays on the screen in Google Business Suite. I'm not sure about the other, but there's a message that stays there for that time duration where you can just hit undo, and then you can have the message come right back up, edit it, do whatever, and then send it. And it might be useful too, just when you send the email and you be like, oh shoot, I didn't proofread it, or I forgot to put this in it, and then you hit it and double check it real quick, and then you send it.
Let it breathe.
I'm telling you, it's a lifesaver.
Let your email draft breathe before you hit send. Nonetheless, let's get back to that. Before I hit send, I erased Ayo. But I said, please advise how you would like me to proceed. I received the following email from your colleague regarding the rates. Nonetheless, these are the rates that she gave me. See the attached email.
See, that was very professional.
And
I'd have typed something different.
And notice the dates. She sent me this email on this date. She sent most recently an email on that date. These were the rates that she included. And oh, by the way, we've been sending our invoices on time and correctly.
But we haven't been getting paid
for the past 6 months.
But we haven't
so
been getting paid.
So how's she gonna tell me now that it's not the right rate? Just because you didn't open the email doesn't mean it wasn't the right rate.
Hey, yo, you need to get your pricing right. That's all. Your pricing is wrong. Call Bob Barker. The price is wrong.
Moment of silence for Bob Barker.
Yeah,
and shout out to everybody that used to watch The Price is Right with their granny and their aunties back in the day.
Used to be the joint, people running down the aisles.
So I'm waiting to see his response to see if he will burn the trust bridge because his colleague.
What trust bridge?
Is all the way up in flames.
Y'all using canoes and rafts and all kind of stuff to cross that river. There ain't no more trust bridge left. You talking about trust bridge?
So just in case you are unsure about what trust is, Merriam-Webster defines trust as the following: assured reliance on the character, ability, strength, or truth of someone or something, one in which confidence is placed. So off grip, there are some people.
Did she put off grip in the email too?
There's some people who are not worthy of trust because their character, their ability, their strength don't belie confidence. You know who those people are. We got them in our families. We all got somebody in our family we know we can't trust. But because we family, we try to act like whatever. And then when they steal grandma's car, what?
Damn, or who steals grandma's car?
What's that little boy, Latarius?
He just borrowed it. Stealing
so he could do hood rat things. No, he stole it.
That was probably staged for the videos. Like, half the stuff be on social media that go viral. I'll be like, man, look, what Espinoza had some video the other day where this lady was supposedly breastfeeding a cat on a plane, and the dude was complaining, and he played it. I was like, man, that ain't rewind it. Let me see it. You get through the video. First of all, the cat never moved the whole video, right? Then later on we get it, and then she moves, and then the cat eyes look like this. It was stuffed. It was a stuffed cat. I don't believe that stuff. So shout out to my boy Latarius. Hope he's doing good things right now.
Hope he's not in jail.
He's probably not.
The moral of the story is when it comes to trusting people, is the people that determine whether or not they're trustworthy.
It's all about the people.
It's all about the people, right? As Maya Angelou said, when people tell you who they are, believe them, right? So if you got somebody that's acting shady, that's not the person that you hand over the keys to the house. That's not the person that you give your passcode to or your Netflix password. When we look at the etymology of the word trust, it dates back to circa 1200 and talks about reliance on the veracity, that's the truth, integrity or other virtues of someone or something, religious faith. It's from Norse, the word traust, T-R-A-U-S-T, also from Dutch, troost, which talks about comfort or consolation. So look at the person and see if they're trustworthy.
How do you measure if someone's trustworthy?
Oh, you can look at them if they got them beady eyes, if they go from 0 to 100 on for like no reason. Like, wow.
You sound like you're discriminating. But you know what I don't understand?
I'm not discriminating. Okay. I'm just saying be discerning. Don't discriminate, discern.
Let's talk about trust.
Discern.
You know what I've never understood? Have you ever heard people say, you need to earn my trust? What does that mean? Like if I meet someone like first time or whatever, we getting in some kind of relationship work wise, or you dating them or you marry them, whatever. How do people start out with this saying like, oh, they have to earn my trust? I hear people say that sometimes. First of all,
that's probably somebody whose trust bridge has been burned.
Or someone who can't be trusted because
that too.
They want everyone to earn their trust. And like, how does someone earn your trust? I'm going to put $100 on the table every day, and then I'm going to hide it in my house and wait to see if you steal it, and I'm going to be watching you in a spy camera, right? How do you be like, they earn my trust?
It differs from person to person.
How do we not see? But that's the problem. That's part of the problem with human beings. How do we not trust people from the beginning? And then if they do something that leads you to say, that was a little shady, or my trust in them has been downgraded some. Like, how does someone just walk in the door and be like, you have 0 trust points with me now. You need to get your trust meter up. It's like you having 0 health when you start playing the video game. How would that be? You start out with 100% health, and then when you take damage, you get hit. Your points, your health goes down until you get recharged.
Well, that sounds like a whole episode for a psychoanalyst, a counselor.
Well, we need to get
somebody
a guest
on
the show that can speak to us that, because I just don't understand.
We don't have a psychoanalyst on today's episode, but I want to give a shout out to my buddy Chris Lyman at Salesforce, who's working with us. So, because
I'm just gonna be like, Chris wrote this book. I was gonna say it said Joel Peterson on the book.
No.
Chris is the gross writer.
The gross writer.
Gross. I meant to say. I'm thinking about gross margins right now. You see, money on my mind. 99 problems, but my net ain't one.
Chris recommended this book to me, The 10 Laws of Trust by Joel Peterson with David Kaplan. Because we're talking through some of the challenges that we were facing. And I'm going to tell you straight up, there are a lot of people on shaky ground with me when it comes to trust right now. And I don't know if it's because, what?
That explains it, but go ahead, finish. I just realized something. Now it explains.
I don't know
that statement explains everything.
I don't know if it's because we're going to new levels and it's going to require us to shed some dead weight, or if it means that the people who are working with us, whether they're internal team members or partners, just don't understand what our expectations are, or that if they just can't produce results.
I get it.
I don't know.
Did you hear the sound on the last episode of Commerce and Chill?
How did it sound?
You got to do something about this audio guy. I don't know.
Oh, I thought you were going to say it's because the platform uses doesn't use the best quality.
I don't trust that dude at all.
No.
Talking about earning trust back. 1 2 1 2.
If you don't have the time to read the 10 laws of trust, or if you just want to know what those laws are what?
He turned my audio off. You see, it just went out. Now it's back on. This guy, you can't trust him.
Here are the 10 laws of trust. Number 1, start with personal integrity. Start with personal integrity.
Okay.
All right.
Be personally integrable.
Number 2, invest in respect.
RESPECT.
Okay.
Something what it means
Number
to me.
3, empower others.
Legit.
Number 4, measure what you want to achieve.
Got it.
Number 5, create a common dream. Number 6, keep everyone informed.
Slack.
Number 7, embrace respectful conflict.
Hey, yo, if you don't read my memo, I'm going to reach across this table and slap you. I don't think that's respectful conflict. That happened in the meeting this morning. I was like,
I wasn't in that meeting. Number 8, show humility.
Okay.
Number 9, strive for win-win negotiations.
Okay.
And number 10, fix breaches immediately. When? Immediately. So start with
What's
personal.
the etymology of immediately?
Right now. Right now. Not later.
Can we get
right
a
now?
Merriam-Webster on that?
No. Go into, so give the folks a little,
done.
your thoughts on starting with personal integrity.
Well, let me tell you what I think about personal integrity. Well, someone should be at a high level.
That's funny here. It's not funny to people
This
on
dude
the
is
camera.
playing with the sound again. You see what I mean? The level of personal integrity on a sound engineer right now is something we need to have a meeting about. So, yeah, all jokes aside, though, man, this episode of Commerce and Chill is crazy. More so for me than anybody else. But anyway, what do you want to know about personal integrity?
What are your thoughts on
This is what happened. You lack of sleep.
with personal integrity?
Like, where do you begin? Like the integrity, of someone that you're interacting with and you have this professional or relationship with, I think it's super important because their level of integrity is going to speak volume. So you know what? It's not always the skills someone brings to the table. Like, can you use Final Cut? Can you use DaVinci? Can you use Canva? Versus Photoshop.
I promise before the next episode of Commerce and Chill, this dude here is going to get some sleep.
I'm just laughing over some stuff. Like, we were sending memes around about people who were like, oh, do you have, what was it? Something about editing skills. And they were like, yeah, what
Proficient in Canva.
Yeah, what platforms you using? It was like Canva. It's like I do videos, I do photos, and it's like what platform you use. I'm thinking they're gonna be like, oh, Final Cut or Photoshop or like even Adobe Illustrator. They was like Canva, and I'm just like, I'm done, bro. I use Canva. You shouldn't be using Canva on a major level. Oh my God. But anyway, so the person might not they might not have the skills that you need 100%, but that person has the integrity and like the wherewithal and they will figure it out and they will put their all in it because that integrity speaks. And then you're not worried about like, are they going to cut corners? Or are they going to do something shady? Or are they going to lie? Or are they going to steal a cheat?
Are you going to end up in court because of them?
Or they going to get you fired off. Your client going to end up firing you.
Your job.
Like, no, not them losing a job, but your company loses a client due to the level of integrity.
That's a soft spot right there. Let's not go there.
Okay, you asked me about personal integrity, so now I answered. Don't tell me it's a sore spot. Put a Band-Aid on. I don't know what to do. They'll tell you deal with it. Like, don't poke it. I don't know, wrap that joint up with an ace bandage. They still sell those?
Yes, they do.
They'll get one of those and get them 2 silver clips that go on it to hold it in place. Like, wrap it up. Put some gauze on it. I don't know what to do.
I'll say this, when it comes to integrity, a good place to start is self-awareness. If you are in tune with yourself and understand what your hot buttons are, what your drivers are. Then when you're working with someone else, you'll be better able to identify how you can build trust with that person, and your value system will drive whether or not they're trustworthy. So self-awareness and trust are critical when we're talking about starting with integrity. Number 2, invest in respect.
RESPECT. Mm-hmm. Invest in respect.
Yeah.
How do you invest in respect?
So SHRM, the human resources.
I just hear that everybody in HR
that's human resources management
that's worked here. It was like SHRM.
That
And I was
respectful
like, what is
treatment of all employees at all levels.
Is that like shrooms?
Is the most important factor contributing to employee job satisfaction. And what I say is that respect does not just apply to when you're dealing with employees. Respect also applies to your partners, whether they're your clients, whether they're your vendors. We had a call today, actually a quarterly check-in with one of our largest clients. They had like 14 people on the call, and I had to explain to them what we've been doing for the past 3 months, where we shined and where we could put a little bit more light. And
where we shine and we can put more light. You mean where we shine and where we need to put some more polish, because that thing is not shining.
Versus areas of opportunity for improvement.
Okay.
And so I appreciated that we could have an interactive discussion around where they thought our strengths were and our areas of opportunity, and that we could address where we could do better. And that's a demonstration of respect, that they're not just saying to us, send us a body, send us a bill, here's a check. But they're actually setting up respectful practices. So here are some quick respect tips that you can put into practice where you are. Steer clear of trash talking, especially when it comes to the competition. Give feedback, accept feedback.
Well, is that really trash talking? I think that's just down talking, like trash talking, like,
it doesn't matter.
We're like in a competitive situation, like, you whack, your microphone is soft.
We're not competition.
I know, but I'm saying that would be like trash talking.
No, it wouldn't. Listen
like
to
speaking
concerns.
negative of a competitor to a potential client or in a sales calls. Yeah, that's no good.
Listen to concerns and expect people to bring their best. Those are some quick respect tips. So number 3 is empower others. Chief, what are you doing at the soapbox to empower others?
Oh
my gosh.
I guess I should read SHRM. Okay. I don't know, like we do a lot of stuff. I don't know what to say to check off to be like, oh, this is something we do to empower people.
So I'll give you an example. You sent Sean Harvey, you registered her for that training class.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. I don't
So this
to me that's some simple basic stuff that
it's simple basic stuff that everybody's not doing.
Okay, so we help. I don't know if we help, whatever. We get our team members involved in professional development, like additional education that's going to help them in and outside the workplace. I better not mention this because some people at JSB might get mad. But we introduced additional financial options with some of our new payroll provider, so they can empower themselves financially, do planning, things of that nature. I don't know what else.
Those are just a few examples. Empowering people is critical to building a high performing team. Because remember, if you're going to perform well, you probably can't do so much. You'll be limited or capped at what you can do on your own. It's going to take a team. So when you empower others, you're in a better position to build a high performing team. Number 4, measure what you want to achieve.
Yeah, whatever you want your outcome to be, the results, that's what you should tell your team to measure. Because if you say you want to, I don't know, make more money, then you need to put a dollar amount on it and then tie that to what they need to do in sales that will lead to more money. And this is how we're going to measure it. So you should be measuring, linking your results to what you want to achieve. So if you want the team to hit a sales goal of $1 million, but what does it take to get to $1 million? And these are the results that should be measured and tracked on a regular basis.
Right. And what I found is sometimes when there's a disconnect with people and there may be an erosion of trust, it's because people think that they are producing, i.e., they'll give you a checklist of things they did as opposed to giving you bullet points of the results they achieved. And so if you don't do occasional check-ins and let them see how they compared in terms of
reality
metrics,
check.
In terms of metrics, that's one of the things that we had to do in our quarterly business review was actually give numbers. And that was the most
it's super
uncomfortable
important.
part of that client meeting this morning was because I had to look at the numbers and see what story the numbers told. Now, luckily, the numbers told a better story than I had imagined. And it gives us fuel to move forward, but it also helped us to identify ways that we can be better. So if you're having trust issues within your organization or personally, rely on measurements. What are you measuring? And those metrics can help confirm that the trust is there or show you areas where trust can be built.
Yeah, and you should try and boil it down to like solid data that no one can dispute. And I'll give you a great example. We had a team member before JSB, and they had attendance problem. They were late a lot.
A lot.
But when we spoke to them about it over the phone before we had a face-to-face, they were like, I'm not late often. I was only late like 3 times this month so far. And like, mind you, like 3 weeks into the month, something like that. And I was like, no, you're late like 3 times a week. And they're like, no, I was only late this day, and this day. And they were very adamant about it. And not to say that they were lying or trying to pull some wool over our eyes.
They just had a different,
yes. It's different. Like people, like you ask me when something happened, my perception of time is different. It's totally skewed. I'll be like, yeah, that thing happened like 2 years ago. And Jess will be like, yo, bro, that happened 2 months ago. Like everybody has this different perception. So, but when that team member came in and I printed out all their schedules, I printed out all their punches in and out, and then put them in a spreadsheet neatly, color coded them, and highlighted the ones that they were on time versus the ones they were late compared to the scheduled time. And then they sat there and looked at like 8 pages worth of data. Their whole persona, their whole demeanor changed, and they were like, wow, I didn't realize it was this much. I thought it was just a couple times based on X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, no. So it's super important that whatever you do, make sure you're measuring and you put in front of them that it's really concrete data that no one can dispute. It's not about feelings like, oh, this is because what you think. It's definitive. It's something that everybody can point back to and draw a line to connect those dots, because you just don't know what people's perceptions and thought patterns are or what they got going on inside their head. But when they see the data displayed in front of them, then they're like, wow, versus you just saying you were late 22 times. And they're like, no, I'm not. I was only late 8. But when you print it out and show them the schedule, they're like, whoa, yeah, you were right.
Number 5,
22.
Create a common dream. I often say if there's more than one vision, there's division. And so if you're talking about trust environments, you want to make sure that everybody's on the same page.
One dream. Look at MLK. One dream that multiple people bought into, which powered the movement. One dream, one vision, one dream, one focus. Boom. Having
one common dream can go a long way in helping all parties involved be on the same page and achieve the mission that your organization is trying to achieve. Number 6, keep everyone informed.
Simple as that. Just keep people updated, whether it's phone, email, text, Slack. Hit those milestones, those setbacks happen. Just keep people updated. One of
the consistent pieces of feedback I get from our clients is that they appreciate that we communicate with them. So if something goes wrong,
just tell them.
Say something. If something goes right, say something. If they send an email, respond within 24 hours. If they call, answer the phone. Keep everybody involved so that there's no room to let your mind run amok. Because, folks' imaginations can do some interesting things. For example, this organization that's burning up, that caused me a lot of headaches last week. There was an issue with the leadership that's gone rogue, not sharing very specific data with the team members.
Oof. Or that's everything going up in
flames. With the board members.
Oof.
Or with the funders.
Some fire sound effects.
And so when all the different stakeholders came together with questions, no one except for the CEO could answer any of the questions because no one had a full set of information. In your
sounds like you guys got Theranos. It sounds like you got Theranos.
I feel like I got Theranos.
And this is not the Avengers either. Thanos. You got Theranos.
But it's important. It goes a long way just to make an effort to keep everyone informed. And when you provide people with the right information, that's a key tool that will help you achieve your organization's goals. Number 7, embrace respectful conflict.
Cool. Yeah. You can have those debates. I was in one this morning. There was a very respectful conflict meeting going on, and people got to share their point of view as well as their feelings.
I don't deal with feelings in the workplace.
Yeah, but you got to address them because the question is, what are those feelings based on? And then tie that back to what happened in the workplace or what didn't happen that caused that. And then you find out the root of the issue and then solve it. So it becomes this respectful conflict. Like, hey, you were supposed to do X, Y, and Z as part of this project, and you were late a week delivering it, which caused the whole team to get thrown off the timetable for the project, which made our department look bad because that piece of the project we had to give to another department to support their initiative. So you can have that respectful conflict, and then you never know what comes out of it. And a lot of times you'd be surprised it'd be something good that comes out of it that makes that team that much stronger to propel it forward on the next project.
All right. Number 8, show humility. So if you're the one that's late making the team reach their deadline, be humble, right? Don't put somebody else down. Acknowledge your role because humility can take you to great lengths. You don't have to necessarily bring attention to when things go wrong, but just acknowledge that you're not always right. And you'll win people's trust in doing that. I know I've had to swallow and take low more time than I cared to in the past 7 days, but that's why they pay me all the pennies.
Pennies over dimes.
Mm-hmm. But that's something that comes with the job of being a leader, right? I can be braggadocious when I need to, but that's not going to advance the organization as much as when in challenging times. I learn when I need to flex confidence, right? We talked about flexing on the previous episode, and when I need to be humble and demonstrate humility, not just for myself, but for my team, just because that's what we have to do in high trust situations. And we have a lot of clients who select us because they feel like they trust me. And because they trust me, they trust the organization. You shaking your head because you know it's true.
Because if they only knew the real you, Jesse from the block.
You can have multiple personas.
Hey, yo, what's up with that pricing on my email? It was right. Hold up. Delete. Good morning. How are you today?
That's how you build high trust relationships. You got to put that email in the draft folder and let it breathe.
Delete.
Number 9, strive for win-win negotiations. You don't always have to be right, but you can give the other person space that they don't have to be wrong. So how do you come out with a mutually beneficial solution so that that person will continue to trust you and you can continue to trust them, and you're not in the background like, that dumb.
Listen, there's some
that
people,
dummy, that big dummy.
Unfortunately, they feel when they enter any kind of negotiation, like whether it's with like someone doing repairs, like a contractor.
That sounds like somebody I know.
Oh, I'm related to somebody like that. And no matter what, they hire somebody to do they could hire you to cut a blade of grass. And you'll be like, oh, that'll be $5. They will negotiate you. They will nickel and dime you and get you down to like, okay, I'll do it for like $2.25.
And then complain when it's over.
And then, right, when you finish, you do it and you do a great job for $2.25, even though it should have been $5. You finish, they'll come out and look at it and be like, yeah, you kind of should have used some professional shears when you cut this blade of grass. And you should have cut it at a 90-degree angle. Looks like you cut it at a 38-degree angle. Look at all these ridges on it. And oh, man, you should have polished this blade of grass a little bit with some coconut oil to make it look a little better after you cut it. And you should have seared the edges when your blade cut it so
okay,
it keeps the grass from from leaking out grass fluids or whatever, right? Grass blood because it's alive. And then they'd be like, you know what? I think this is really worth $175. So that's what I'm going to pay you for it. And we'll debate you and argue with you the entire time. And then finally the vendor will just crack and just be like, just give me the $125 so I can get the hell out of here. And then they never do business with it. God, it's horrible. Yeah. So flashback to some rough times during my life working with other individuals.
Let it go.
He's calling me from
Number 10, fix breaches immediately. If you find that with a team member, with a partner, with somebody that you deal with in your personal life, that there's a breach of trust, deal with that immediately. Don't let it fester. Don't put it on the back burner because number one, if you don't address it in real time or as soon as possible, people will think, they don't think anything of it, right? It'll be like, well, you didn't say anything to me, so I must not have done anything wrong. The other thing is, it gives that person the opportunity to communicate what they were thinking and to create pathways to get back to trust, as opposed to you holding it in, you letting it fester, you not addressing it in a timely manner, and then you're mad. And it's like, what do they say? It's like you're taking the poison and expecting the other person to die when you don't address those breaches of trust. So if you do have an incident where you have a breach of trust with someone that you deal with in your business or personal life, make sure that you address it when? Immediately.
There you go. Straight from the etymology of Jesse from the block. Immediately.
In the long run, having close and trusting contacts will give you an edge, especially when marketing tactics alone are not enough. So those are the 10 tips from Joel Peterson and David Kaplan from their book, The 10 Laws of Trust, to help build high trust organizations that will make your business great and potentially make your life great. Chief.
Thanks, Joel and David. Appreciate it.
Do you have any closing points for the folks in Commerce and Chill Land?
No, not today. I think I've exhausted my talk time on this episode.
You've given a lot of great insights and context to the tips that we shared.
You set me up for something else later on.
You talked about some of your personal experiences where people have betrayed your trust, and you just made people laugh. So hang on tight, because this is just one episode. We're doing a 2 for this week. You might not see them both episodes in the same week, but before this week is over, we're doing another episode of Commerce and Chill, where we're hosting our buddy, Mr. Ruben Lindo. So Ruben is the CEO of Phoenix
What's up, Hamlet's
Nutraceuticals, Black Mar Farms LLC, and
Chillin'.
Urban Couture,
We doing that shoot tonight?
Urban
What you wearing?
HRBN Couture LLC. He's a former professional athlete, and he is a serial entrepreneur, and he's going to have a lot of great information about the green economy, especially for Black and brown folks.
Green economy, we talking about currency green, or we talking about?
We're talking about 420 green. The ooey, like our friend would say.
Yo,
Kenny, best. Can I best?
Is this Jenny from the block? My co-host all of a sudden? The ooey?
The ooey. I'm not saying anything that you haven't heard before. Is that not how our former client put it?
I don't even
We're
think.
walking down Fifth Avenue with a client. We cut around the corner and we're overcome.
You said his full name. Somebody beep that out. Put my man on blast. He working in some high corporate. You putting him on blast like
with
that.
The smell of marijuana.
And not from him. It was some random
somebody
people
out on the street. And our client is
episode
like,
is totally going off the rails. You talking about Rogue?
He know. He from Brooklyn.
Bed-Stuy.
So we want you to know. We want you to know about opportunities within the green economy, how you can, if you're interested, build a business in the cannabis space, and are so excited and look forward to Ruben Lindo joining Commerce and Chill on our next episode. So we appreciate your taking advantage of the 10 tips for trust, and look forward to continuing to build with you. Don't forget, subscribe, like, leave a comment, share, And we'll see you soon back here at Converse and Chill. I am Jessica Johnson Coe.
I'm Waleed.
Holla.
Sitting here next to Jesse from the block.